All right, I guess we're back. Look like we had some activity. We go back in here. We'll just start off on one account. Overall account's up $66. That's profit today on this one account. If we look through, we can see there's another 18. And let's see this other account. Another 4. So 22 and 60 something. Getting close to 100. Day's not done yet, but dividends are paying in, so it keeps on rolling. Let's look and see what actually traded that we didn't. Around 1300. Be 105 for you of those that have never been in the service. Military time. TSN. I'll come down to the bottom. Take a look at it. TSN sold. So you can see looks like it was bought last week somewhere in there around the 64 range. It closed at around 67.22, somewhere around there. You can probably look it up on that chart. But what we're going to do is remove all our helpful indicators, and all they are is tools. They don't tell us anything. They just tell us, where we're going to make our profit and where we're going to set our next entry. Excuse me. I can't really get rid of this cough. It's not COVID. Anyways, let's go to the next one. I haven't got a lot of time. I've got about 56 minutes before the close. So let's see. Going into this account, and we see that 1801, and that was on WFC. We talked about that earlier this morning. There was one way to get rid of it out of the account. I wasn't paying enough dividends to meet the threshold. I bolted up for whatever reason. I don't follow the news, don't care. I just tried to take profit off the table and get at it. So there was no pullback in there, so we don't have to worry about any of that. So it gave us an $18 profit. The reason why we got out of it, as you see, 40 cents per year. That's not our threshold. Our threshold is $1.20. We're going to keep our dollar amounts high or higher. So we go to this one. Looks like we had CCL. We had a couple buys in there. So we had WFC, TSN. So med. Let's talk about med first. This morning I made a mistake and didn't pay attention to my amounts. So let's go over here, and I told you what I would do. I wanted to get out of that position. So you see it was just a couple pennies to be able to make $9. It was 10 shares. It should have only been 1 share. So you can see after all of that, we're able to put in our Fibonacci. And that Fibonacci, it should just be cut. The way I'm using it is just a tool. It's a 50% retracement. If you want to call it Fibonacci, that's fine. I don't follow any of that guru stuff. I just go on plain math. Right, I'm trying to make as much money with as least risk as possible. So if you look at this, we took the profit, made $9 on that small little move. That's what we were after to repair our mistake. We had bought 10 when we should have only bought 1. So we sold 9. We hold on to the 1. We just readjust. From 2. Let's see what it was. Med. So yeah, 275.33 is our new average price. So we want to go up from there. $4.52 plus $1 for the commissions. So that helps us out. We got back to where we needed to be. Didn't lose any money. Actually made a few extra bucks even making a mistake. I'll go over to good. Good is looks like a CEF, if I'm not mistaken. Little pup here's playing with everything. All right, so you see, now I can't explain this. you know, why it goes up and then hits my thing. I don't have any magic spell. I don't have any insight to the market. You know, I just go for my profit targets. My feeling is a lot of these things are uh, looked at by an algorithm. Computers are making these decisions to go after that. They basically look at them thinking they're a stop. If that's the case, if that's the case, you know, we just kind of, if you want to call it luck or whatever, it goes up, hits it. We look back in time, 6 months ago, it was up in this range before. Now, I don't base any of my decisions off of what happened in the past because it doesn't matter. This could have been way down here. The whole idea is I'm going off my price. My price is um, what I'm paying, and you know, that's it. Sorry, I'm getting distracted here by this little pup. He's chewing on everything. He already destroyed one of my cables to one of my monitors this morning, so he's just being a little pain in the ass every time I get on here. But I gotta look after him because he's new to the family. All right, so let's look at the other one. We had CCL. This is another one that just quit paying dividends a while back, so we decided there's no dividends. If you look at the chart, that shows us, you know, where it went up to. There's no dividends on the chart, so we're not interested in buying it or continuing to hold it or even try. All we want to do is get at a positive as fast as we can, because we don't know when that information is going to come back, or when that stock is going to come back to paying dividends. We have no idea. That's Carnival Cruise Lines. He's throwing a fit here right now. This guy's going to be a terror in a couple months. Let's hope not. Hey, no. No. It's like me when I was a kid. But I've had dogs before. You got to let them go through their little periods, and then they figure it out pretty quick who the boss is, and then they just kind of settle in. But yeah, pretty uneventful day. You know, we've done what we needed to do. No, no. But we'll just sit here and monitor. If anybody comes into the room, wants to ask some questions about what's actually going on here. I know this is a boring looking room, but boring makes money. Hype doesn't make money. Maybe for the people that are hyping it, because they figured out a way to get people to invest or to trade what they're wanting to sell. And there's been quite a few investigations going on that I've heard of, just, you know, in passing. I mean, I don't follow a lot of the so-called trade gurus or whatever else is out there, but man, a lot of people, SEC is investigating them big time. But, you know, if they're doing something illegal, they need to be held accountable. If they're not doing anything wrong, then they ain't got nothing to worry about. But too many people complaining, yeah, where there's smoke, there's fire. So yeah, doesn't look like it's well, the only thing that's really changing, you know, go down here and look, looks like the futures are showing 104. Bitcoin's over 52K. Just keep on going. But if you've ever been in the room before, you know, I'd suggest, you know, at least modern what is going on in the morning. I do have some videos that are pretty basic on the whole investment strategy and what I'm actually doing. If you watch some of those first, you can go to my page and figure out which ones they are. If you don't understand what I'm doing, don't poo-poo it, because you might be missing out on something. You know, give it a shot for a couple of days. If you like what you see, you can always you know, talk more, get involved. Most of the people I've trained in this, they're not on here because they know they don't have to be. Just kind of spreading the word. It's hard, you know. People want to see flash, bang, you know, Jim Cramer style. Yeah, hey, get all hyped up, buy this, you know. Okay, don't buy that. Okay, get rid of this, get rid of that. You know, like these guys know something. And I don't follow any of them. I do all my own research. So this is one we bought earlier this morning. It was a traded on the Amex exchange, National Healthcare Corporation. But yeah, what we're looking for is the market to pull back into our limits, and then it can go back up. But everything is moving in different ways. No, all stocks don't move together. You can probably tell by this, but if you just follow the indexes, they tend to move together. Some days they don't, but majority of the time, I don't know if it's 80 or 90%, they're traveling in the same direction. So it's not much use when you do true investing. But I'm always looking for these ones that are pulling back, and that's not much of a pullback. But just looking at the negative dollar amounts, because those are going to be your buys. It's automatic to the upside. I mean, you can look at them, but you know, LMT, it's already been dollar cost averaged. We're still waiting for it to come back on the scan where we can buy some more. But in this case, unless the max shares change, we're going to be holding 4 shares until it either does one of two things. The max shares increase, the stock price goes up and we close out, or the stock price goes down. Either way, we're holding this, you know, virtually till the end of time. So we've committed to getting $10.40 per share per year right at this point in time. So if you break everything down into its smallest common denominator, you'll figure out how, through this system, how to protect your money and still continue to make money, because you can be holding. But when you start seeing all these, you know, the Teslas of the world, you know, Amazon, none of them pay dividends. So if you're buying up at the highs, yeah, sure, you know, you could use this system partially, but you ain't going to get any type of return on your money. So you're either going to do one of two things. You're going to take a loss at the high end because you're going to put a stop in there. I mean, if you didn't really believe in the company, why would you buy it? I mean, there's two things that companies do. They either reinvest their dividend or reinvest their profit into their company, or they pay out dividends to their shareholders. So, should tell you something about if these companies are making all this money and they ain't paying it out. This is why these stock prices are so high. But they've been doing it for years. A little bit of greed there. I don't know what it is about sales calls. Let's get too many of them. Let's see if there's any news on there. Yeah, it's pretty much stayed the same since the open. I mean, the NQ's down a little bit more than it was at the open, but the ES is just flat. Nothing really going on. Market-wise, you get some bond auctions, Cushing numbers. That's with February. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to say what's going to happen with oil, but I would assume it's going to continue to rise. So if you're in the business of driving or, driving back and forth to work, yeah, your costs per day is going to go up. I'd like to break things down into the pennies, you know, and then once you actually get up to that level where you're making dollars, um, you can start thinking that way. But if you start thinking too big, you tend to make the wrong decisions because you'll make a decision based off numbers that you don't have. So like, if I'm working with a $300,000 account, I can do 30% of those max shares. So when we look at something like GIS, I can do, well, that'd be 9 shares of that total, right? Because it's a direct reflection of your account. You don't have to worry about it, blowing you up. But yeah, if you just say, yeah, I think I would have bought GIS back here and say, okay, I can afford 100 shares, $6,030, and now it's down 56. Yeah, sure, I'm going to get that $51 dividend payment there if I had bought it back in here somewhere. But how long is it going to take you to make another occurrence? See, if you got multiple things working, they're not all going in the same direction. So the philosophy behind this is you just want to be taking little bits, little bits, little bits, little bits. Next thing you know, it's like, okay, so I can buy 9. I would buy 9, then I buy another 9, right? And all it is, you're multiplying your factor, how much money you're going to make on the outcome. Yeah, it looks like the woman of the house is home. She's home early. You gotta take the dogs down to the vet. Babysitting duties as of right now. But overall, we've had pretty good movement in the market. Let's see what this NHC is. Just kind of interesting how this one moves. I'll be right back. I'm going to bring the pup downstairs. Ooh, who's that? Who's that? Want to go downstairs? Come on. Let's go, buddy. Let's go, buddy. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What's up, Sally? That's your mom? Yeah, that's your mom. Good boy. She's all happy. I walked her all the way up the hill. She's doing good. He's been walking around his collar most of the day. He didn't like it much. He's had a bad attitude after it was on. He's just like, man, I'm going to fuck shit up. Okay. Come on, Sally. Come on. Come on, Sally. She's gotten a lot better with him, too. Oh, good girl. Good girl. Oh. me get my pants on. All right. Sorry, I got to cut it early.